Alright, so I'm back, and today I'm going to talk about my 10 favorite figures of the year. These are the non-transforming figures. So, and there's not really much of an order here. Just kind of... it just kind of happened this way. So we're gonna start this off with some Super 7 figures. So Hammerhand. Now, a lot of these characters, some of these figures might have come out last year or something like that, and but if they did, it's just these are the figures I looked at this year, and Hammerhand is one of those figures. Now, I'm pretty sure he came out this year. Now, this is from their Super 7's Ultimates Thundercats. I was never huge into Thundercats. I didn't watch a lot of Thundercats. I didn't, own a terrible ton of toys. But him, Vultureman, and the Ratto, whatever, those were the ones I owned as a kid, and he was the one that seemed to survive the longest. The toy did, and he was just always present in my little Spider-Man wars and X-Men wars. He was just like this mercenary cyborg that would join up with other cyborgs, and he was just a fun character. So it's like the toy's good. So it was nice to have a new representation of him. But for the most part, it was just one of those, it was very nostalgic. It pulled on those strings really hard. So he's my number 10, we'll call him. Like I said, I don't really have much of an order here. It's just more of a order here. Next up, we'll keep on the Super 7 train. Muckman and Joe Eyeball. Now, this one I'm pretty sure came out last year. No, he came out this year because it came out the day of my birthday. And then I got him a week later, and I was really ecstatic to get him because I had this guy as a birthday present, the original figure, when I was a kid. So, again, hitting all the nostalgic strings just the right way. It's a good figure. It's not the greatest. I mean, I don't know if I would sit here and be like, this is the figure that's gonna get you in the Super 7. I wouldn't say that, but it was just one of those. It worked for me. It hit everything that I needed to hit. I love it. It's a great figure. I'm happy I have him. And this video is not going to be super long just because I've got a lot of time restraints. Alright, next up. Super 7 Slash. This figure was just great. I really enjoyed it. It just reminds me so much of the original toy, and that's exactly what they're going for, and that's exactly why I collect them. It's I liked the cartoon a lot when I was a kid, but I didn't get to watch too much of the cartoon when I was a kid. But I did have a lot of the toys because they were so available. They were everywhere. We would go, we would collect change, and we'd go to the thrift store and we'd buy these things for quarters. It's we look at very few of them we got brand new, like Muckman, but Slash was one of those ones I found at the thrift store. So I picked him up, and I found a whole bunch of characters at the thrift store, and it was cool. I get this guy, and I get that guy, and I get this guy, and I just have so much fun with them. I've got a whole box of Super 7 figures that we haven't looked at yet, which will probably be the first or second week of January. We'll just kind of see how that plays out, but hopefully I'll have time to do the reviews. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for them. But yeah, that's Slash. Alright, so next up, let's go into what I used to consider the bottom of the barrel. So, Marvel Legends. So, let's start off with this one. This is the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. Is it a great figure? No, but it was just enough to get me back into Marvel Legends. It hits all the right spots. I originally bought him to just be a size comparison Spider-Man. Because, Spider-Man's a good, everyone knows Spider-Man. So, But I actually liked him so much that now he's been graduated from just for review purposes to my Spider-Man shelf, which it's awesome. I have a Spider-Man shelf. And then I replaced it with the animated Spider-Man, who's also growing on me, and he might end up on the shelf, and I'll have to go buy another Spider-Man. So it's just... so it's great that, like, I could get little Spider-Mans like this and put them on the shelf in the back and have my... the Mayfax Spider-Mans be the front and center of the collection, and these guys will be, like, the back rows. And these guys can fill that void. Like, I'm planning on getting the armored Spider-Man at some point. And then just kind of mix and match. Like I said, it's like all the little weird costumes Spider-Man had, that could be Marvel Legends, but all the main big costumes that he had can be Mayfax. So it's like, just kind of mix and matching them. Having a good time with them. Along that same note, and also the note of nostalgia. So 2, 3, 4. The Marvel Legends Sabertooth figure. Now, it's not the Sabertooth a lot of people really care about. But as I said in his review, this was the Sabertooth I had, or this costume version, is the one I had as a kid. And that's the one that made it into most of my little X-Men fights and battled Wolverine left and right. It was this Sabertooth, not the one from the cartoon and not the most iconic costume. It was this one. And so when I saw it, I'm like, I have to get this guy. And he was the second Marvel Legends I bought, getting back into it. And he's pretty good. Again, not something out of this world great. But I did enjoy it. Next up for Marvel Legends, Beast. This is Retro Beast. We just looked at him, or we're about to look at him. I don't know when the last videos are going up, but he's really good. I mean, the paint slop on some of his hands is bad, but he hits everything I wanted in a Beast. He's got some good posability. He's got, like, he's not just blue plastic. He's got, like, some washes and dry brushing in there, so lots of color breakup in the blue fur, which is really nice. It's just a really good figure, and this is where I want Marvel Legends at, where I could take this and I could put it on my X-Men shelf with all my Mayfax characters, and he'll look in place with them until a Mayfax figure comes along, where it doesn't feel like it's necessarily a placeholder, even though it kind of is, but it's like a step up above a placeholder. Like the Jubilee X-Men, figure that I have, that's a placeholder. 100% placeholder. Like, I'm not overly excited to have Jubilee on the shelf, that version of Jubilee. I'm eager to buy a Mayfax or something, a better version of the Jubilee if it comes along. But with Beast, if it doesn't come along, I'm going to be like, what, I'm okay with it. It's a great figure. It does everything I want Beast to do, so. And then the last on the Marvel Legends group, the new Apocalypse figure. This thing is perfect for what I wanted in an Apocalypse. You guys see my videos. I've got the Age of Apocalypse one, which I had the toy as a kid, so it kind of pulls on a little bit of that nostalgia. But the figure's crap. The waist joint here is so loose that you take them and you can just like flop them around. Same with the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse, and that was more of that more comic book style costume, and it's a good looking Apocalypse, but this one hits all the cartoon elements without. And this is a big plus for him, is that like a lot of their cartoons inspired figures are getting that cell shading on them, which looks awful. Although the Spider-Man looked alright, so that's strange. But this one doesn't have the cell shading. It's just like if they took that Apocalypse from the cartoon and put it into toy form and gave it a little bit of an upgrade, And it just, like, this just feels like the Apocalypse I've always wanted as a toy. I had many Apocalypses as a kid from the original Toy Biz lines, and they were all good. But this one just kind of hits that cartoon style a little bit harder, and it's just I'm ecstatic with this, especially at a $35 price point. Like, I can't imagine a better Apocalypse figure out there. Like, I can't. If Mayfax were to make one, it would probably be really expensive, and I'd probably be hesitant to pick it up because I'd be like I am. That's how good this figure is. All right, now we go to the Mayfax. Quick honorable mention before we get there, just because I haven't had a chance to review it yet. Otherwise, he actually would have made this list. Is a Mayfax Iron Man. This figure's great. I highly recommend it. I can't wait till I get to review it with all its accessories and stuff like that. But it's my favorite Iron Man figure I've ever owned. So, so you can't go wrong with it. All right. The worst of the three is the Jean Grey. Great figure. She's got some joint problems, like her wrist kind of comes apart, stuff like that. But overall, she's a pretty solid figure. I do really like her. It hits that 90s X-Men cartoon. It just hits it almost perfectly. It's everything I wanted in a Jean Grey. Just the build could have been a little bit better on it. That's my only gripe on this one. Number, I guess, 2. This is one I just looked at, so I don't know if the video for it's up yet or not. So if it's not, it will be soon. But the Mayfax black-suited SpiderMan. This is using that newer Ben Reilly Spider-Man body, which is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't really have build issues with this figure. It's pretty solid. The feet were a little loose, but you put on the magnet feet and you're golden. But yeah, this guy is he's solid. He's gorgeous looking. It's everything I wanted in a black suited Spider-Man. I'm not gonna buy the Marvel Legends ones because I have this guy. Like this. He's just great. He comes with all those great accessories and stuff. So, I'm very happy with him. And I got the comic book one. I think when I recorded it, I knew it was on pre-order. And it was about to come in. It's already hit. It's in my pile of loot. So, I'm going to get that shipped for, sometime in January. But, yeah. Awesome figure. And then, kind of along the same vein, my figure of the year... My action figure of the year. The black-suited Spider-Man. Or Superman. Black-suited Superman. I'm not a Superman fan. I'm not. You guys, if you've watched enough of my videos, you know that I'm not. I'm not a huge Superman fan. He's got his place, that's for sure. I enjoyed the old 90s cartoon. To an extent... I've always had this issue of just he's so powerful and oh look, somebody else has kryptonite, here we go. So I've always had those kind of issues with him, but when it really boils down to one of my all-time favorite graphic novels, well, it's not really a graphic novel, it was just a combination of a story arc. One big story arc was the death of and return of Superman. It had, Vindicator, it had Cyborg Superman, it had Steel, it had Superboy, all of these characters. Justice League members were there. It was just such a great story. And then at the end of it, you have the black suit Spider-Man when the whole mystery is revealed on who really is Superman. And he shows up. He's such an important character to the story arc. I like the suit. It's one of those great suits because it's like the black suit of Spider-Man. It's not a permanent suit. It wasn't never meant to be a permanent suit. It was just one of those a temporary suit, and then we'll go back to the original one once the story arc's done. But it's just such an impactful suit. They have to incorporate it in so much media. So yeah, I'm very happy to have this figure, and it goes really well with my Hush Superman and my Hush Batman. Like, I mean, I got a little Superman shelf going, and I can't wait till it gets Steel and the other and Cyborg Superman. I hope we get an Eradicator, and I really hope we get a Superboy. So Mayfax, just keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, those are my top 10 figures of the year. We looked at some other good ones too. Vulture Man, Mondo Gecko, stuff like that. Final Ninja Turtle. But there was a lot of periods where I wasn't looking at figures just because I was so busy. But overall, it was a pretty good year. So yeah, what are your guys' top 10 action figures of the year? Not Transformers. We'll talk about that tomorrow.